Welcome back to the Wildlands, and in tonight's episode, slightly doom and gloomy as we've had a lot of burglaries around us and about half of our neighbours have been burgled in the last couple of weeks. So we're looking at putting up security to minimise the chances of burglaries or to slow burglars down and hope that they won't bother coming to us. So we're going to put cameras up and we're going to put a gate in and fence the entrance to our property. So enjoy tonight's episode where we look at the security of the wildlands and off-grid living. So gate, what are we doing, Missy?
Putting a gate in.
Great, thanks for watching.
Let's see, we've debated where to put it on our track because it's a little bit of an awkward shape, and we've decided we're going to put it closer to the bit of land that we live on as opposed to right at the end of our driveway to minimise the idea of somebody driving on property that's not ours and then coming around our gate basically.
Yep.
So we're going to put the gate kind of where we're standing. So we have to dig big post holes, which is going to be my job. Get the spade out, dig, dig, dig. Then we're going to cement posts in. You're going to make a gate, aren't you, from scratch? We were going to buy one, but you know, times are hard, so we're going to make one. And we've decided to have an opening gate like this, haven't we?
We have, yeah, so it opens in the middle, two halves, and I think it opens outwards. And we've discussed what benefits to your security does the gate have, because basically all the burglaries around us, because it's so rural, it's not like a town burglary where perhaps somebody wouldn't think about getting an axle grinder or chainsaw out to cut your front door off to get in your house because you've got neighbours. Here they would do that. So one of our close friends, they took an axle grinder to the hinges of a steel door to get into his storage building. Somebody else, they chainsawed through the gate. So we understand that putting a wooden gate in, they could just take it off, but it would take them 5 or 10 minutes. That's our objective, is to make it less attractive to come and burgle the wildlands and to slow the buggers down so that we get a chance to get them on camera before they can actually get onto our property and burgle us.
Yes, exactly.
So that in mind, tonight's episode is very kindly sponsored by REOLINK. We reached out to them as they're probably one of the best selling security cameras, and these are cameras that work remotely and on Wi-Fi or on a data SIM. So what happens is if somebody triggers the camera, then you get an alert to your phone, and then you can also watch the footage on your phone. That's what we want, so that when somebody breaks in, not tempting fate there, but hypothetically, we then get a notification. So even if we're half an hour away, we can then ring our nearest neighbours and say, we've got unauthorised access on our property, can you go and take a look? That's a great benefit. Or worst case scenario, the buggers get in, they burgle you, get away, but you've got them on camera, you know the registration of their vehicle, you've got their faces on camera, that can go to the police, and hopefully then you get your stuff back, or some of your stuff back.
That's another job for me, going up ladders, up trees.
Yeah. It's exciting, isn't it? A lot of jobs for you today. Yeah. But I do have to make the gate. So the gate will be wooden, kind of rusticy, but fairly sturdy. And it'll also stop people coming in at night, which doesn't happen very often. But we have had a few people maybe lost reversing down the drive, so that'll stop that as well.
And the other idea is that even if people are coming by to see if we're at home, first they've got to stop, or they've got to climb the gate, or what have you, to be able to get into the next bit. So it's just a deterrent.
Yeah, that's
just one of many.
Deterrent. So let's get gating. So, not a bad half a day. Got both posts in, cemented, held up with our little jiggies.
It was really hard work digging those holes. This side was not so bad because it was fairly loose soil, even though there's granite mixed in, but that side, I was actually digging through granite at one point. So I had my pickaxe out and it was hard work. My hands are really sore.
So we've got a 3 metre space or gap from post to post. So when we've got the hinges, it's going to be about 2 metres 80. So pretty confident that Quinn will get his lorry in when he does deliveries.
Yeah.
And then Missy had the idea, which we copied off Paul, is to level off the posts. As you can see, what this post is much higher because the post was already longer. Going to level them off, and then I think we're going to put a height barrier kind of vibe on the top, and then we'll only take that off when we've got a big delivery lorry coming. That then means that anybody in a van won't get in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's clever.
And if we've got a party or visitors who we know have a camper van that's tall, we can take that off. And again, won't stop the burglars, but it's another deterrent, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's our objective. So tomorrow, once the cement is nearly set, I think it'll take 2 days to set hard, but tomorrow we can do proper measurements, calculate where the hinges are going, measure the gate so it's nice and tight, and I can start getting
Build the gate.
Built the gate.
Really cool.
So good first day.
Yeah, we've done well.
So day 2 of the gate build. So you see we've got both the basic frames up, and we put the brackets on, or the hinges, and they're all working. They're propped up at the moment, so they're at the right height. I like a so. So we didn't film everything yesterday. It was quite difficult to work out the height and the positioning of the brackets because the track is not flat, and also it's thrown out by this top bit. This is just temporarily here to hold the post sturdy while the cement was drying. This post was a longer post, so we're going to cut it off so that these posts are the same height. Then we're going to put a round post up here, so it's a bit like a height restriction barrier, so that people can't get big vans or lorries in when we don't want them to. And we've measured the width, and we're hoping that our local delivery guy can still get his van through here. It's about 3 meters from post to post, so we've lost a couple of centimeters either side, maybe about 5 or 6, so it probably makes it about 2.6 meters, which actually might be too narrow for some vehicles. So today we're going to put pallets on the gate, and it's basically one whole pallet strip and then a short bit, so it's going to look quite smart. Then we're going to paint it with wood preserve, make it look nice, and then at a later date we're going to make a square at the bottom here where my foot is of cement, and then we're going to put a big bolty going into the ground to make it sturdy, and then we'll have a big padlock on the front, and that'll be job done. So it's looking good. And then later in the video we're going to be putting up security cameras, probably in the trees up behind the camera. We're not worried if people know the cameras are there, because we're going to put them above arm height, so that even if a thief could see the camera, by the time they've got through the gate, got a ladder up to take the camera down, we'll have them on video and have their number plate on video. And for those of you in Portugal that are considering camera options, the legalities are that if you want to put security cameras on your property, you can do, but if the cameras would naturally catch your neighbours on camera in the course of their normal day, or in our case, the Olive Grove here has an owner who comes down periodically, you need to contact those people and get their permission. So we've already contacted our neighbours and they have said that is fine. So hopefully that will add an extra layer of security with the current burglaries happening in our area, which is very disruptive to our life and especially unpleasant for our friends who have been burgled, and let's hope they catch the buggers soon. So that's the gate finished, or finished before its ironmongery goes on. So what we've got to do there is we're going to put a big bolt here, go down into the ground into a concrete base, and then we're going to have a lock here which will slide across with a padlock on, which is a grinder proof lock. And then also you'll notice that in the few days since we filmed the last part of the gate video, the gate sagged, and that's because it's not sitting on the base that I just mentioned. And also once we put the bolt here, we'll know where we can position diagonals which will pull it straight. So that's in the next stage of finishing the gate. And then also we've got to treat the gate so it looks nice. So in part 2 of the video on security, we're putting up some REOLINK cameras. So this one is a REOLINK Go Plus, which we're going to put on this tree here. Not ideal putting it in a tree, but it certainly works, and I've been up the ladder and I've tested it. And what we want to do, this is a rigid camera, so it'll be in a fixed situation up the tree, and what we want to do is for it to go over the gate and see what is on the other side of the gate, anyone arriving by foot or by car, and if by car, to capture their number plate. And then this particular one we have on an EIOT SIM card, which, if I do that, is slotted inside the camera here, and that's a data SIM card. And in our case we've got a 12 gig 360-day plan, and that will mean that this will transmit automatically from its own data for any activation. So if somebody triggers it, it's triggered by movement. That can be a person, a car, or an animal. So a lot of people use these as gaming or tracking cams as well, but in our case we want to trigger the movement of people that are not welcome on our land, or to be able to see who maybe is coming in the entrance.
The other cool thing about it is that it has a microphone and speaker, so that if somebody comes here and we're not on the property, then we can speak to them. We can either tell them to go away because they're not welcome, we can tell them they're being captured on camera, or we can see that it's a friend and go, hey guys, we're out at the moment. That's a really cool feature.
Yeah. So that also means that because of the burglaries that have prompted us to be more cautious of our security off-grid, it means that we can all go and walk the dogs, and because this is on a data plan, if somebody activates the camera, we'll get a notification on our phone while we're out walking the dogs. We can check, and if it's, say, our friend Stephen, we can talk to Stephen and Mrs. said, say we're out, we'll be back in a minute. Or if it's somebody we don't know, we can come straight back, and or we can talk to them as well.
The other thing we could do, if it's somebody that looks like they're trying to break into our gate and we can see them in real time, we can set off a siren, because it's got a siren on it too, which is really cool, which you can also customize with your own voice command, so you could shout at them in Portuguese if you wanted to.
Yeah. And then later we'll show you our second REOLINK, which is down by the van, which is different to this one, so we'll come back to that. But for now we're going to put this, we're going to install it.
Up a tree!
Up a tree! So Missy's put up the bracket to hold the camera, which just screws in here on this thread at the back, very straightforward. And then the bottom one, the longer one facing the camera, that is for the REOLINK solar panel, which is available separately. So you can either run this off USB if you're near a building or a power source, or you can run it off solar. So we're running ours off solar. And
it'll hold a charge as well.
Yeah.
So you can charge it up and take it away with you if you were going somewhere in your car. Absolutely, or camper van or what have you. You don't have to have a permanent source of power, which is really cool.
It is. So we want a permanent source of power on ours. So what we have is we have a USB socket here with a waterproof sheath. We need to plug that into the USB socket on the camera here, like so. So this is going to put the camera up, and then we'll attach the solar panel. So let's do a swap.
The REOLINK Go Plus is a smart 4-megapixel 4G battery camera. It's portable, has a rechargeable battery or a solar panel for non-stop power. It has microphone and speaker. It detects persons and vehicles. It has infrared LEDs for 33 feet night vision filming. Has a time-lapse function. It has multiple storage options. You can save to a micro SD card or use the REOLINK Cloud. The casing is designed for harsh environments, withstands intense heat, humidity, rain and cold. It sends you real-time alerts. You can get instant notifications on your phone, email alerts with snapshots and a siren. Or you can customize it with your own voice alert. It has live view and playback. Customize the motion zone to where you think movement will be detected. Control the camera hands-free with Hey Google and Alexa. Then over by the shade house, we've got the Argus PT Ultra. That's a 4K 8 megapixel wireless camera with spotlights. Got a 355-degree pan and 140-degree tilt, which provides wider coverage. You can also preset points to check all the priority monitoring areas with a single click. It also has double warnings, a siren and a spotlight, triggered or manually controlled. It has 2 night vision modes, the infrared of the REOLINK Go Plus, but also the spotlights. And it's got lag-free 4K live streaming thanks to 2.4 5 GHz dual-band Wi-Fi. And now, as we mentioned earlier, here's Dom to tell you about the EIOTCLub.
So of the 2 REOLINK cameras that we have, the one by our gate is using a data SIM or an IoT SIM. We're using the EIOTCLub SIMs, or Easy Internet of Things, which is what it stands for, and they do various data plans. We're on a 12 gigabyte plan, so basically as a SIM card, here's the one I've taken out. You can see the little micro SIM card, much the same as your phone SIM card, and that's gone inside the camera. So that then means that the camera is connected to the internet via the IoT using the EIOT data card. So that then means from my phone I'll get notifications every time somebody walks or drives towards the gate. I've got 2 notifications of myself coming in front of the gate here. So you can go onto the EIOT website, I'll put the link here, and you can have a look at their various plans. It's very straightforward. I basically activated the card online, I put the SIM card inside the camera and it works straight away. It's very, very simple stuff. And it's great. So that now means every time we go out walk the dogs, we'll get a notification if somebody comes to the gate. It also means if we're down the garden, out the view, our market garden is a couple of minutes walk from here. So if we were down there and somebody came to the gate, now that we don't have open entry for friends to arrive, it would mean that we'd get a notification. We can see who's at the gate, and as Mrs. showed you earlier, we could then speak to the person at the gate, say, oh, won't be a minute, we're just down the garden, we'll come up and let you in. So yeah, highly recommend EIOT for your data requirements on your cameras, and they connect to the strongest network that they can find at the time. So it's a roaming strongest network. So currently we're connected to Vodafone Portugal on the EIOT SIM, so it gets a thumbs up from me. So that's the gate up. We've just got to finish the ironmongery. Our cameras are all up and connected, one by Wi-Fi and one to the EIOTCLub SIM, which we're very pleased of. Pleased with the gate?
Very, very. It's sturdier than I was imagining it was going to be, actually.
It is.
And yeah, it's already given me a lot more peace of mind, even before we put the bolts on and everything. It's good.
So we fenced down this side, and off camera we're going to start fencing down here where the posts are here, and then ultimately we'll keep going. Eventually we're going to fence in all the way to the back of the van, and as well as the ball fencing that we put up earlier in the video, we're going to put chicken wire, and then the dogs can have a much bigger roam-free area. Yep. So big thumbs up from us on the security. Thanks very much for watching. So thanks to REOLINK for the cameras and EIOTCLub for the data. And also thanks to you guys for watching, and if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe to stay in touch and follow our journey off-grid in central Portugal, and look forward to your comments, and we'll speak to you and see you very soon. Bye.